So as a big reminder, thank you to my Patreon supporters for supporting the channel. Your help tremendously helps and allows me to continue to making Overlord, Dalmachi, Jobless Reincarnations, you name it, a variety of different content. And as a reminder also that I will be covering spoiler content. I will be doing a deep dive into Volume 14 and the mindset of Philip itself. So of course, getting into the video, why does Philip believe Ainz is weak? This isn't actually something exclusive to Philip. And yes, a lot of us do truly believe Philip is an idiot, but at the same time, he is, and he kind of isn't. And what I mean by that, to give context before you get the pitchfork, is that Philip was never meant to be in the role that he was meant to be in. He is someone that was never meant to inherit the lands, the titles that he currently has, but due to the Katze Plains, he has been thrown into a position that he doesn't have the wisdom for, and he doesn't have the knowledge for. He's just not the person for the job, and he was never meant to be, and that's why he was never trained or brought up for that position. That's why he kind of thanks Ainz in a way, because of the whole situation that played out at the Katze Plains. It meant that a lot of people, a lot of lords and people of higher nobility and titles ended up dying, which left a massive power vacuum, which allowed Philip to gain the power that he does. And he uses that, and it gets to his head. So yes, he is a fool, he is an idiot for doing that, but at the same time, he doesn't believe Ainz is as powerful as it is. He, in some parts, doesn't even believe really Ainz is real. He believes it's all a giant conspiracy by the Empire. And this is something in the light novels that he notes on. And so this is one of the reasons why he does end up attacking the grain, or shipment, of course, the Sorcerer Kingdom that is transporting for humanitarian aid. He ends up attacking that because he wants to try and show that he's strong, that he can, you know, rally everyone together and slowly build his position up. He's getting power hungry because he's never tasted or any type of responsibility. He just doesn't know what to do. He's just become so built on this whole idea that he can achieve anything, and now he's got a taste of it, this adrenaline, this power, this authority that he has over others, and the title that he has, which comes with a lot of other things. He thinks he is just the be-all end-all, and because of the fact that he has this idea that the Empire has made this giant conspiracy with Ainz to try and gain power and take over, he believes it's all fake. And he's not the only person that believes Ainz isn't real, or that Ainz does not have the power that's been said. And you've got to understand that the reason for that is you got to take yourself away from it. Our perspective is we know what Ainz is capable of. We know what Nazareth's capable of. We know what the Floor Guardians are capable of. But from a New Worlder, a person that believes Tier 4 is an insane amount of power, and then being told, hey, by the way, this guy that's an undead just rolled out of nowhere. We've never heard of him before. There's been no names, no mentions, nothing. Just completely portaled out of thin air, like an alternate dimension, kind of get where I'm going here, and just suddenly rolls out with all these powerful individuals behind him, and he can cast 10th tier spells. He can just wipe out an entire army with one spell, just like that. To a New Worlder that has no knowledge, no idea of what's going on, would just say, that's ridiculous. That's just fantasy. And unless you've been to the Katze Plains and seen the events that played out, you wouldn't believe it, and many don't. Now, of course, some people have received reports and they've gone, but even in Volume 14, when a lot of the reports were being sent to the Slain Theocracy and other entities, a lot of those people didn't believe it, and they had to be fed reports in a certain sort of way so that they could understand just how powerful Ainz was and how insane this power is. Because to them, if they got fed the real hard stuff, they just wouldn't have believed it. They would have gone, nope, it's fake. So they got fed breadcrumbs being like, okay, this is some of the stuff he's done. They go, okay, it's a little bit insane, but it's a little bit believable. And then they get fed a little bit more and they go, okay, this seems a little bit too. And then they kind of look at the last part and they go, okay. And because of what happened at the Katze Plains, there are many soldiers that have just retired. They've gone into hiding, and some died from shock and etc. So once you see the actual results of the Katze Plains, then you can kind of grasp just how powerful. And even then, through seeing what's happened at the Katze Plains, some of those people still don't even fully grasp how powerful he is, because it's just so difficult for them to wrap their head around it. It's like, imagine if you took someone from this day forward and took them back 300 years in the past with a digital phone or something, and then showed someone 300 years ago, they would think you've got witchcraft on you. And that's the thing, it's that you cannot believe it because it just doesn't seem valid. They can't wrap their head around it. Philip is exactly that. He can't wrap his head around the idea that Ainz can cast 10 tier spells, control the undead at the mass amount, because he's not seen it. He's been bubbled up and sheltered for so long because he's never been told that, hey, these are your responsibilities, because he's never had them. He's never had the responsibilities because he's just been kind of just thrown to the sidelines, because he was never meant to inherit the power that he was meant to inherit. Now that he has that power, and now he's been thrusted into this world, he doesn't know what to do with it. It's gotten to his head, and he doesn't fully grasp the powers that are out there. And so to him, he just thinks it's all just a fairy tale, which, putting all of that into context, you can kind of see why he did what he did in Volume 14. And to be honest, a lot of people that saw the report of what he did, even they sat there and were saying, this doesn't make any sense. Why would he do this? Because to them, they're just like, this is so idiotic, it cannot be possible. The only person that really brought this up is like an idiotic idea, because even Albedo is just like, this just seems so ridiculous. There has to be some secret underhanded plan here. And others thought the same, that maybe he's playing some type of game that they can't understand or can't fathom. It was Shouty that just came out and said, maybe he's just an idiot. And that's when they realized, oh, he's just an idiot. And because he doesn't comprehend the environment that he's in and the other forces at play, he's made a fundamental, massive mistake. Now, whether you say that makes him an idiot or not, yeah, I do believe he's an idiot, but at the same time, it's understandable why he's an idiot, I guess. So you could debate that he's not really an idiot, he's just lacks knowledge, but at the same time, that is being an idiot. You just lack the knowledge and the wisdom to make the right steps. So it's a debatable thing, but I do lean more towards that he is just an outright idiot. And he has made a mistake that is going to have a massive, massive rippling effect on many, many lives and many, many people. Is going to lead to some very, very horrible things. And of course, I don't want to spoil all that. I just wanted to mainly focus on Philip because I think he's an interesting character. I think he adds a lot of spice to the story, and that's something that I've mentioned, is that I like characters that stir the pot, that make things interesting. I don't like the cookie cutter type people out there that are just picture perfect. And that is one thing that Overlord has done a really great job at. You look at characters like Climb, he's kind of seen as this like the perfect MC type character, but because of the situation he's in, it's kind of like warped and changed. And that's one of the beauties about Overlord, is that it is a very, I would say, gruesome story, and it kind of takes a lot of tropes and then spins it and changes it and molds it. And it, to me, it feels like kind of like a Game of Thrones kind of story, where it's just, you're taking some things and you're taking those tropes and you're spinning it and twisting it and playing with it. And I think that's what's really great about the author. And I think as much as we all love to hate on Philip for such great hits as I'm going to marry Albedo, and honestly, to him, that sounds like a great idea, and probably to many other people near him, they probably think, oh, you know, as much as he probably doesn't have a chance, there's no harm in trying. But if you knew who Albedo was and the kind of capabilities she has, yeah, you'd be sitting there, you know, maybe wetting yourself a little bit, freaking out like another particular individual from another organization that almost lost her marbles, because when he says, I'm gonna marry Albedo, to the average person, probably just feels like a pipe dream, but to another person that knows Albedo, yeah, probably not a great idea. So again, it's the lack of knowledge that he has about the situation, and the lack of knowledge he has about people like Albedo and Ainz, which allowed him to make the biggest mistakes of all time. So I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts about Volume 14? That particular scene, I will be again covering other stuff from Volume 14, so definitely look forward to that. And again, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more anime content, and I'll see you beautiful nerds in the next video.